Avengers! Assemble.
The next few years are going to be huge for Marvel fans. With Phases 5 and 6 rolling out new heroes, epic team-ups, and long-awaited villains, the MCU is gearing up for some of its biggest films yet. We're talking about the chaotic anti-heroes of Thunderbolts, the long-awaited arrival of the Fantastic Four, and two more potential billion-dollar blockbusters. There's a lot to be excited about, so let's dive right in. Thunderbolts, May 2nd, 2025. There was a plan to bring together some top-tier heroes, but the Thunderbolts, well, they're not exactly that. Still, they're the best the MCU has to offer right now. This new team-up film pulls characters from Black Widow, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, bringing a group of anti-heroes together for a bigger cause. And thanks to the dropped trailer, we finally have a better idea of what their mission will be. Thunderbolts has been pretty mysterious, and fans are still scratching their heads over the asterisk in the title. While we don't have all the answers yet, the trailer does drop some major clues about what's ahead in the MCU. One thing almost all Marvel fans can agree on, Yelena Belova, played by Florence Pugh, and Red Guardian by David Harbour were the best parts of Black Widow. So it's no surprise that the trailer kicks off with their reunion. Even though they're not actually related, Yelena and Alexei still have that father-daughter bond, with Alexei doing his best to keep things light despite their messy situation. There's also buzz that Melina Vostokov might return, though she's missing from the trailer. Florence Pugh has hinted that we'll see a different side of Yelena this time around, one who feels lost and unfulfilled, even though her job still involves plenty of, well, killing. Since we've got two Black Widow stars reuniting, it's only fair that the two Falcon and Winter Soldier characters get back together too. While Sam Wilson is off dealing with a government conspiracy in Captain America: Brave New World, his old frenemy Bucky Barnes is working behind the scenes. It looks like Bucky has taken on a government job, but let's be real, his Winter Soldier skills are definitely going to come into play. Also back from the Disney Plus series is John Walker, aka US Agent. After his disastrous run as the new Captain America, he's fully embraced his mercenary side and, surprise, he's a dad now. Yelena's mission takes a chaotic turn when she ends up in a mysterious bunker and gets ambushed by John Walker. Things get even wilder when Taskmaster from Black Widow and Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp jump into the fight, sporting updated costumes that look more like their comic versions. Just as the battle heats up, a new character enters the mix, Bob. Yelena quickly realizes they were all brought there for a reason, likely by the same person. Turns out, they're trapped with no easy way out. So, who is Bob? The best guess? He's actually Robert Reynolds, better known as Sentry, a powerhouse character with a dangerous secret. The trailer pretty much confirms it. There's a shot of him with bullet holes in his clothes, but no injuries, plus a quick glimpse of Sentry's logo. Meanwhile, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine is pulling the strings, continuing to build her influence in the MCU. She's basically the anti-Nick Fury, wielding serious power and resources. The trailer even teases her hanging out at a fancy dinner party surrounded by iconic MCU artifacts, one of which is Loki's scepter. Some fans think she may have taken over Avengers Tower, which would be a huge power move. The trailer ends on an intense note, with Yelena, Red Guardian, and John Walker being chased by none other than Bucky Barnes. The shock on Walker's face says it all when Bucky opens fire on his own future teammates. Even more concerning, Bucky is using the same explosive disc from the Winter Soldier, hinting that he might be slipping back into his brainwashed past. With Thunderbolts diving deep into themes of identity and control, it's shaping up to be a crazy ride. And after the latest trailer, Marvel is really flexing the talent behind the film in a way we don't usually see. Normally, studios highlight the big names, actors, directors, maybe producers. But this time, Marvel is showing off almost everyone involved, and their resumes are stacked. We're talking about the editor from Minari, the writer and director of Beef, and the composers of Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's like they're saying, look at all these top-tier artists. We've got the best of the best on this movie. Now here's where my overthinking kicks in. Are they doing this because they're genuinely proud of Thunderbolts and want to hype it up? Or is it damage control? Like, hey, even if this movie isn't great, at least we got some insanely talented people working on it. Because, let's be real, big names don't always guarantee a masterpiece. Even legends like Francis Ford Coppola made The Godfather and Megalopolis, so talent doesn't always mean perfection. That said, I really hope Marvel lets these insanely talented creatives do their thing without too much studio interference. You hire top-tier people for a reason, so let them cook. Yeah, no, I'm probably overanalyzing, but you don't see promo campaigns like this too often, which is exactly why I can't stop thinking about it. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see if the movie is absolute cinema or not. I hope it is. I also hope you're part of this channel. But just in case you didn't know, you can now become a member and get early access to videos, as well as influence which movies and shows you want us to cover on the channel through our exclusive members-only community posts. Becoming a member helps support the channel massively, but enough for this shameless plug. The Fantastic Four First Steps, July 25th, 2025. Fantastic Four First Steps is easily one of the most hyped movies right now, and when that teaser dropped, wow, it did not disappoint. From the very first shot, I was hooked. Honestly, even if this wasn't a Fantastic Four or Marvel movie, I'd still be all in just for the visuals alone. That retro-futuristic style? Absolute perfection. It's got me feeling like I just aced a test. One of the coolest things about the film is definitely its aesthetic. It mixes that sleek, 1960s-inspired design with advanced tech, giving the MCU a fresh and unique look. The team's headquarters, the legendary Baxter Building, has a clean mid-century modern vibe, and we even get a quick look at the Fantasticar. This blend of retro style and cutting-edge Marvel spectacle makes First Steps feel like something completely new, and I'm here for it. The characters? Spot on. Johnny Storm is straight up fire, literally, and I love that little detail where you can see dirt in the camera when he flames on. Pure sauce. The Thing? He just looks so friendly, and that full suit? Chef's kiss. That shot of him through the window? Powerful. Plus having Ebon Moss-Bachrach playing him and the first scene showing him in a kitchen? Love that little touch. We also catch a glimpse of Herbie, who looks straight out of a 1960s vision of the future, and there's even some fun banter between him and Ben Grimm. We didn't see Mr. Fantastic stretching, probably because the effects aren't ready yet, but I love that even with all this high-tech gadget, he's still scribbling on a chalkboard. Super wholesome. And Sue Storm? That is my Invisible Woman. Her look, her powers, straight out of the comics, cartoons, and games. Vanessa Kirby is going to own this role. Then there's John Malkovich, who makes a cryptic appearance, stepping out of the shadows. His role hasn't been confirmed yet, but speculation is already flying. Some think he might be playing Ivan Kragoff, aka the Red Ghost. And don't even get me started on the score. It's giving classic 90s and 2000s superhero movie vibes. Super grand, super heroic. Oh, and Galactus. A proper live-action Galactus? I'm losing it. Galactus, one of Marvel's heaviest-hitting villains, is finally making his full live-action debut in the Fantastic Four First Steps this summer. Directed by Matt Shakman, this retro-futuristic take on the iconic team will feature the planet-devouring cosmic giant as the main antagonist. And we even get a quick peek at him in the new trailer. Yeah, we technically kinda saw him in Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, but let's be real, that swirling space cloud didn't do him justice. This time we're getting the real deal, the towering godlike figure in all his glory. It's about time Hollywood gives Galactus the proper treatment. Avengers Doomsday, May 1st, 2026. Avengers Doomsday is shaping up to be one of the most exciting Marvel movies on the horizon. It's been way too long since we last saw Earth's mightiest heroes together on the big screen, but luckily, the wait isn't much longer. And here's the real kicker. Robert Downey Jr. is back, but not as Iron Man. This time he's stepping into the role of Dr. Doom, making this Avengers reunion one of the biggest and most epic yet. Getting to this point hasn't exactly been smooth sailing though. Originally, Avengers 5 was supposed to focus on Kang the Conqueror, but after Jonathan Majors was found guilty of reckless assault and harassment in late 2023, Marvel decided to move in a new direction, dropping both the actor and the character. Then, at San Diego Comic-Con 2024, Marvel made huge waves by announcing RDJ's return. not as Tony Stark, but as the infamous Doctor Doom. That's when the film officially got its title, Avengers Doomsday. This movie is set to be a major part of Marvel's Phase 6, following the highly anticipated Fantastic Four reboot this summer. So what can we expect from the next Avengers film after Endgame? Well, if this lineup is any indication, it's going to be massive. But first, why the huge gap between Avengers Endgame and Avengers 5? When we were doing Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3, there were fewer projects over more years, Feige previously explained. They were smaller projects and individual character stories, and it felt appropriate at that point that after every 2 or 3 years that it took for a phase, we would do an Avengers film. As Phases 4, 5, and 6 were coming together, there are more projects in less years, because of all the amazing stuff we're now allowed to do on Disney Plus and getting characters from Fox, Fantastic Four and Deadpool, that it felt like, certainly after Infinity War and Endgame, that we thought Avengers movies aren't cappers. Given the whole multiverse angle, which has to explain how Downey Jr. goes from Iron Man to Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange seems like a solid bet. We can also see heroes like Shang-Chi, the new Black Panther, Ironheart, Daredevil, and even Deadpool join the fight, since each of them has a solo project in the multiverse saga. Then there's the Young Avengers, who started coming together at the end of the Marvels. That means we might see Kate Bishop, Yelena Belova, Kamala Khan, Cassie Lang, Scar, and Echo stepping up. Right now, the plot for Avengers Doomsday is still up in the air. With Robert Downey Jr. now playing Doctor Doom, the movie is definitely going to need some multiverse shenanigans to explain how that all fits together. So don't be surprised if the TVA from Loki makes an appearance. The movie that seems like it'll give us the biggest clues about Avengers 5 is the Fantastic Four. Longtime comic fans know that Doctor Doom first showed up in Fantastic Four comics back in the 60s and has been their biggest villain ever since. So it makes total sense that he'll be introduced as the MCU's next major threat in their upcoming film. Then there's the whole Kang situation. Marvel originally set him up to be the next Thanos-level villain, popping up in Ant-Man Quantumania and playing a big role in Loki. But with Marvel dropping both Jonathan Majors and the character, Avengers 5 is probably going to have to address that loose end before Kang gets completely erased from the storyline. Doomsday is also making headlines for its massive pre-production costs. According to reports, the spending on this film is already 3 times what was spent on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania at the same stage, and it's only going up from there. For reference, Quantumania had a total budget of around $388 million and ended up being one of the MCU's biggest box office flops. Meanwhile, Marvel has reportedly already spent $8 million on Doomsday, compared to just $2.5 million for Quantumania at a similar point in development. The monthly spending is also significantly higher. If this trend continues, Doomsday and Secret Wars could end up having the biggest budgets in MCU history, possibly even hitting the $2 billion mark combined. That would be even more than what Infinity War and Endgame cost together. But here's the big question. Will these movies actually bring in enough at the box office to justify such a massive investment? The MCU's recent track record hasn't been the best, with Phase 4 and 5 struggling to match past successes. If Doomsday and Secret Wars are going to break records, they'll need to deliver in a huge way. Spider-Man 4, July 31st, 2026. No Way Home was a total spectacle, packed with action, emotion, and the kind of epic fan service that only the best superhero movies pull off. Since Avengers Endgame, the bar for Marvel movies has been set sky high, and No Way Home proved they're still pushing boundaries, and this was followed by Deadpool and Wolverine as well, and hopefully this will continue in Spider-Man 4. Some exciting casting news just dropped. Sadie Sink is joining Spider-Man 4 in a mystery role. The Stranger Things star will be teaming up with Tom Holland for Spidey's next adventure, but there's no official word yet on who she'll be playing. Lately, there have been rumors about her joining the MCU, and at one point, she was even rumored to be in the running for Jean Grey in Marvel's upcoming X-Men reboot, though that's still unconfirmed. If she does end up playing Jean Grey, Spider-Man 4 might take a bigger multiverse approach instead of a street-level story, especially since it falls between Doomsday and Secret Wars. But there's also a chance she could play a major Spider-Man character, like, say, Mary Jane Watson. That said, with Zendaya already established as the MCU's MJ, that might not happen. Either way, Sadie Sink is an awesome addition to the cast, and it'll be exciting to see how she fits into the story. We've got even more Spider-Man 4 updates, straight from Sony's Amy Pascal. In a recent interview, she reassured fans that this won't be the last Spider-Man movie with Marvel, saying, "We're getting ready to make the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Marvel. We're thinking of this as 3 films, and now we're going to go on to the next 3. So it sounds like we're in for a whole new trilogy." On top of that, Sony's Tom Rothman confirmed that there's still at least one more MCU crossover in the works, thanks to their character-sharing deal with Marvel. That's how Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange ended up in No Way Home, and apparently there's still another Lend-Back crossover in the pipeline. As for the creative team, Shang-Chi director Destin Daniel Cretton is officially on board to direct Spider-Man 4, with returning writers Chris McKenna and Eric Summers back as well. Considering how well Shang-Chi was received and how successful Spidey's MCU movies have been so far. There haven't been many updates on the actual plot of Spider-Man 4, but No Way Home definitely left some hints. Given how massively successful that movie was, both critically and commercially, it's pretty likely that the MCU will build on what it set up. Amy Pascal gave a little insight into what to expect in an interview with Deadline's Behind the Lens. She shared a bit about what Spider-Man 4 will focus on, hinting that it'll be more about Spider-Man as a hero rather than Peter Parker's personal struggles. She said, "We have to deal with the fact that he decided he was going to give up being Peter Parker, and he was going to focus on being Spider-Man because being Peter Parker was too hard, so that's what the movie is about." While Spider-Man 4 is expected to focus more on the hero side of Spider-Man, the exact storyline is still a mystery. There are tons of rumors floating around, some suggesting a huge multiverse-level adventure, while others hint at a more grounded street-level story. Since Spider-Man 4 takes place between Doomsday and Secret Wars, Marvel has a chance to revisit the symbiote storyline that Sam Raimi attempted in Spider-Man 3. This could open up a lot of different story possibilities, including adapting key moments from the comics. Given that the original Secret Wars storyline introduced Spidey's black symbiote suit, it wouldn't be surprising if the MCU goes in that direction for the next chapter. With Null making an appearance in Venom: The Last Dance, there's a chance he could cross paths with Spider-Man down the line. But Venom isn't the only possible villain for Spider-Man 4. Kingpin's growing presence in the MCU, especially in Daredevil Born Again, where he becomes mayor and cracks down on vigilantes, could put him on a collision course with Spidey. Since Peter is one of New York's main protectors, it would make sense for him to get caught up in Kingpin's war against heroes. Plus, with Matt Murdock already making a cameo in No Way Home, this could be the perfect opportunity for a proper team-up between Spider-Man and Daredevil. Even though Matt should have forgotten Peter's identity thanks to Doctor Strange's memory wipe, they could still find themselves working together. A story like this would bring Spider-Man back to a more street-level adventure in his own city, something fans have been wanting for a while. Now that Peter is older and more independent, he could finally stand on his own without relying on mentors like Iron Man or Doctor Strange. But until we get official confirmation, the plot of Spider-Man 4 remains up for debate. That wraps up our look at all the upcoming Marvel movies in 2025 and 2026. With Thunderbolts, The Fantastic Four, Avengers Doomsday, and Spider-Man 4 all lined up, the MCU is setting the stage for some seriously epic stories. But now, I want to hear from you. Out of all these upcoming movies, which one are you most hyped for? And do you think Avengers Doomsday will live up to the hype, especially with Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom? Let's talk in the comments. Thanks for watching our video today, and we will see you in our next video.